pager blasts that has taken place in Lebanon. Now, we bring to you a given input that we are receiving with regards to the blast that's taken place, with regards to how it was planned over months, and it now seems to have been a planned attack that's taken place. Let's take you through the details of this given story. Israel's Mossad spy agency planted explosives inside 5,000 pagers imported by Lebanese group Hezbollah months before Tuesday's detonations, a senior Lebanese security source has told the media. The operation was an unprecedented Hezbollah security breach that saw thousands of pagers detonate across Lebanon, killing 11 people and wounding nearly 3,000 others, including the group's fighters and Iran's envoy to Beirut. Now, Iran-backed Hezbollah has vowed to retaliate against Israel, whose military declined to comment on the very blasts. Plot appears to have been many months in the making, several sources have told the Reuters. Senior Lebanese security source said that group had ordered 5,000 beepers from Gold Apollo, which several sources say was brought into the country earlier this year. So this is the given input that we are getting on the series of blasts that was seen in Lebanon. Now, there is a lot of questioning that's taking place with regards to how this entire plan has been executed. What are the given scenarios that may have played out? Now, we have already taken you through the possible scenarios, or rather the possible plans that were put to place, with tampering of evidence being one, with how the given pagers were brought in to the given country, because it is being said that the pagers had received a message. All the pagers that were issued to these Hezbollah members, they all received a message, or rather a notification, before the very blast. So there is a particular chance of pre-timed bombs or pre-timed explosive devices also having been inserted. Then there is an entire aspect with how lithium batteries could have also been modified a little bit to make them, or rather transform them into a given explosive device. So there is plenty of scenarios that are in fact being brought to the front right now, which we are also bringing to you with regards to how these series of explosions may have taken place. And right now, to bring us more details on this given input of how the Mossad spy agency planted these explosives inside the 5,000 pages, we have with us Varghese Abraham joining us on the broadcast to bring us more details. Varghese, a very good morning to you. Very firstly, help us understand, is this a confirmation of sorts which is now coming to the fore with regards to Israel's involvement in having planted these explosives inside the pagers? Because if that is so, this indeed gives a clear indication that tense times, or rather more turmoil is in wait. A larger war is looming ahead over West Asia, over the Middle East.
Well, if you look at the manner in which this entire operation has been carried out against Hezbollah, this is information that is coming in from sources within the Lebanese security establishment that has carried out with the investigation after this massive large-scale explosion that has occurred. And that is where they said at least 5,000 pages have been, in fact, compromised with regard to this kind of a situation that had appeared as part of what they suspect is a Mossad operation targeting Hezbollah fighters. So yesterday, the numbers that came in was around 3,600 almost pages have exploded in the country. Now, these pages have not been given to Hezbollah fighters only within southern Lebanon. It's been given to their auxiliaries as well, and those are associated with the organization. Some who have been loaned as fighters, especially to certain areas of civil war, such as Syria, as well as in Iraq as well. So these pages have, in fact, have been widely distributed among the Hezbollah fighters. Now, the reason why the Hezbollah was, in fact, looking for pages is that something that is considered being something that is, in fact, considered to be one of the important parts of trying to not to be detected by the Israeli intelligence. What we understand is that the idea behind it is that they wanted to ensure that they are not tracked, is what we understand. Hezbollah had a need for these communication devices that were not manufactured in the United States, so they had to find a manufacturer outside any kind of influence of the United States, and therefore they zeroed in on a particular company. Now, this company that we are talking about, the Apollo Gold Apollo, is said to have manufactured pages that could in fact stay long for at least 85 hours after charging once. So the battery, which is made of lithium, it works even under water, and therefore these pages are considered to be waterproof. This kind of a high-duty, kind of a hard electronic device to communicate was what the Hezbollah was in fact looking for, and that is why they had zeroed in on these pages. But this paper, what we understand is that the manner in which Hezbollah wanted to keep its communication secret is what led to this kind of situation where they wanted to move away from mobile phones, because mobile phones were used by satellites and by intelligence agency to easily track the movement of Hezbollah fighters as well as their leaders accurately, and that is why it was a decision taken at the highest level that Hezbollah will communicate only using pagers, and this is what it resulted in, like a huge order going out for these pagers. But again, there is information also coming in saying that there is a problem when it comes to whether they had in fact given out these orders with the know-how of intelligence. There are several theories that are doing the round as well with regard to it. So how can the entire information be compromised? Is what the Hezbollah, meanwhile, is carrying out an internal investigation within its ranks to find out as to how these pages became such a huge security threat for it. And there are also information coming in that the company that is said to have gone ahead and manufactured, saying that they have not directly supplied to it. It had given a license to a European firm called BAC. And this particular company is the one which has, in fact, manufactured these pages, and therefore they don't have any direct association with this particular model that was manufactured. Their brand name was, in fact, used. However, the owner of Gold Apollo denied giving any information on where the company is located in Europe. So that is another aspect of it. But several investigations are being carried out, with that one investigation from the Lebanese government itself, trying to crack as to what exactly happened. One, an internal investigation by the Hezbollah, and also the Economic Ministry of Taiwan is carrying out an investigation as to regarding these pages and how it has been utilized. So clearly, lithium powered pages being used as weapons. How the Israelis did it is the big question that is being asked by security experts. There are now theories doing the rounds of how they could have done it, but at the same time, trying to capture or use devices that have been used on such a mass scale is something that has been baffled security experts as to how they carried out this statistic.
Absolutely, Varghese. You know, at this given point, that raises a very serious question here, which in fact, as I posed to you before as well, given Israel has still kept silent with regards to what exactly has happened in Lebanon. In the very recent past, this is on Monday itself, we had seen the Israel Defense Minister Yoav Gallant having told the US Defense Secretary that the window for working out a peaceful solution or a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, or rather the Hezbollah outfit, was in fact the window was slowly closing down. And right after having made such a comment, if such an explosion comes to the fore, now Hezbollah getting triggered and saying that we will retaliate with all our might and give whatever is, as they deem to be fair punishment for the Israelis. Do you think this is leading up to a bigger war at the given point?
Well, if you look about whether it will in fact create a regional conflict, one is that the Hezbollah as an organization would be in fact at the receiving end of what is the kind of pressure they will be having when it comes to their retaliation plans, because Hezbollah has said that they will in fact go for a fair punishment. But then Hezbollah is not an organization that is tied only to Lebanon. It has its proxy organization in Hamas, and it has fighters that are associated with Iran. So Hezbollah will be forced to pour some kind of a response to it, for which the IDF is preparing at the northern Israeli border. And southern Lebanon and northern Israel is going to be the focus point of what could be, or what could be the result of a retaliation that they in fact claim could happen. So clearly, at the moment, the wider issue about whether it will turn into a wider conflict is something that would result in some kind of a diplomatic effort, maybe on back-channel efforts to somehow diffuse the tensions. But then the question would be that there should be some kind of response, because this has hit the rank and file of Hezbollah largely, and even several leaders have, in fact, been affected because of this. You know that Iranian ambassador has also been injured in this because someone who was a Hezbollah member was wearing the pager close to him. That exploded, and then an MP's son has also died because of this. And this is something that has in fact resulted in a huge loss of face for Hezbollah, and therefore they would be in fact having their pressure to retaliate. But the larger Middle East conflict, like as you are pointing out, whether Iran could get involved in it, or how it, or whether still it will be shadow boxing that would be in fact seen. Well, we have to wait and watch as these tensions mount. But Israel seems to be giving out the impression that it is ready for both offensive and defensive operations in southern Lebanon. So, in fact, all experts are in West Asia are in fact keeping their fingers crossed that this does not spiral into a larger conflict as such, a direct war that is there between Hezbollah and Israel. Also one thing that we should understand when it comes to sway, Hezbollah has sway over southern Lebanon. It's not directly associated with the Lebanese government, so it is not the Lebanese defense forces that would be involved, and it would be Hezbollah fighters who would be taking out this kind of an operation against Israel and IDF. So that is something that would in fact result in the entire Middle East, or rather the West Asia, in fact being drawn into, because already we've seen how Hamas, the war in Gaza had resulted in such a situation. So in fact all of them are now on a wait and watch and to see how this in fact would unfold, whether it will be shadow boxing by intelligence agencies in the background, or will this in fact result in something more.
Absolutely, Verghese. Thank you for bringing us all those insights and analysis into what exactly has happened. That's an in-depth, detailed account that we also brought to you with regards to how it's being said, or rather the sources have now come out to reveal that indeed this was a planned attack that has taken place, and the plan having been executed and being formed by Israelis Mossad, which is their intelligence agency. That is the given point that we are at this given point. We are bringing you all the latest updates with regards to this pager blast that's taken place across Lebanon. Point of tension and turmoil that has indeed escalated in the West Asia. We all await to see how this in fact plays out in the upcoming future.